Thanks, Bill. My name is Tom Page. I've been a resident of northern Minnesota for about the last 35 years, originally from Minneapolis. Went to the Minneapolis College of Art and Design, graduate school at the University of Minnesota, discovered the ski industry, spent a few years in that profession, moved to northern Minnesota after a couple years in the mountain states, and continued to work in the recreation industry. Started a wholesale screen printing business called Beartooth Graphics. That lasted for about 30 years. Then I started a custom-made glove business for the motorcycle industry, making gloves out of exotic leathers like Indonesian bullfrog, stingray, crocodile, lizard, ostrich, buffalo. That was very interesting for about 10 years. During all that time, I was also a studio artist. I primarily did commission work for public places and private collectors. And in the last probably 6 years, I've become a full-time portrait painter. Where do I get my inspiration? That's a good question. I think inspiration actually exists on many levels. I'm inspired by the friends that I have. I'm inspired by artists I respect, by ideas and concepts. Artistically, if you're looking for that inspiration, I would say that sculpturally, Paul Granlund was a huge influence in my sculpture career. He was the best figurative sculptor in the last 100 years. I would also offer portrait painters like Nelson Shanks, like Lee Coley White, Stephen Early. There are many, many representational artists out there that I have high respect for. It brings up an interesting quote, and I'm going to credit Chuck Close, but I'm not positive. And that is that amateurs wait for inspiration, professionals show up ready to work. So I like to think in that respect I belong to the professional class, because I am in the studio every single day, meaning 7 days a week, putting in a great deal of time toward what I do. What do I get out of art? Again, a very interesting question. I'm an advocate for the arts. I believe everybody should be involved in the arts. It's a wonderful way of self-exploration. It keeps the mind creative and nimble. It's introspective. It gives you an opportunity to make a statement, connects you with your community, and it gives you a great deal of gratification. become an artist? Well, you become an artist by going to school, by getting an education. And I don't mean a 4-year BFA or a master's. I mean taking a class, community education, the McRosty Art Gallery. Any of these opportunities are a great start, and I think you'd be surprised at the instructors that you find and the depth of their knowledge. So for anybody interested in becoming an artist or expressing themselves, there are a lot of opportunities out there. You just have to do a little research and take advantage of them. The demo I'm going to do today is going to be oil painting, and it will be an abbreviated painting in that this has a finite length of time to complete something, and I will do as much as I can live in front of the camera. If I have to finish up a little bit afterwards and maybe present a final completed photo, I will do that. But in 10, 15, 20 minutes, we should be able to get something recognizable down. It will not be a how-to demonstration. Do this, do that. You end up with beach and palm trees and ocean. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be, this is how an artist does it. This is how a professional artist does it. So I hope that there's some takeaway there. If there's some inspiration, all the better. But hopefully you'll like what you see. So let's have at it. Okay, well, I'm going to try and work kind of fast here because it's a short demo, and I'd like to get as much of the demo in as possible. So let me just start throwing some colors down. Real quick. A little bit of a glare here, so there's a little guesswork going on, but I've always said that painting is just a series of controlled mistakes. I'm sorry, not controlled, but corrected mistakes. Hopefully you correct them when you come back and do your final adjustments. Most painters start out with the big objects first, and then they work into the smaller ones. This is a model that I've had in the past. She does a great job. Normally, if I'm painting with a little more time, I'll do a grisaille, which is, it's a French word for gray, and it just means that you're painting everything in a monotone color to begin with. And I didn't do that this time around, but it's all right. We'll make some adjustments here. You know, paint's really a pretty forgiving thing, so what I get wrong the first time around, which is usually everything, I'll make up for it on my second pass. And that's typically the way I work if if I put a color down, and like I said, these early colors are always subject to being adjusted. But if I put a color down, color theory dictates that each and every color is subject to the color next to it. It's influenced by the color next to it. So whenever you put a color down, and if it's adjusted, well, you have to go back in and just about adjust everything else. Let's see what we're doing here. There are parts of the anatomy. They all have descriptions. And on a good day, I can remember a lot of the names. However, painting, concentrating, and remember those names is not always the easiest thing. This painting right now is what they call a high chroma. That means it just has a lot of color to it, a lot of saturated, meaning kind of pure bright colors without a lot of gray mixing. That stuff comes in later. And as I do this, I'm just making a lot of comparisons. Placement of the mouth, the nose, the angles. And on the palette, which I have a camera on, hopefully you can see that I mixed up 3 or 4 strings of colors, and those are colors that I'll just work off of as I put in these color notes. And maybe you can get the idea that we are starting to get a facsimile of a face here already. It's pretty close up. Hair goes off the top. The forehead goes off the top, and down below here we see very little from the neckline down. And when you're doing this on a longer pose, what really is important is just to stand back and look, make comparisons. And it's only by that comparative technique that you see where your mistakes are, where you want to go back in and correct. I also like to be expressive with my brush strokes. It's not always the easiest thing. I've found that a lot of it is determined by the canvas you're painting on, the materials you're using. Now you can see that I'm starting to contrast a little bit more, darkening the hair in. I'm working kind of lightly with the paint, meaning a lot of washes. It's not a real heavy impasto, which is a word for thick paint. I'm not sure. I would say we're about 5 minutes into this demo right now. And you can see it didn't take too long to get some information down there. There's, even a likeness starting to build up right now. If you have a good drawing, and that's a term that is used in painting as well as pencil on paper, but if you have a good drawing, meaning correct proportions, then any color you put down will start to work. Some work better than others. But they will start to work, and then you go in and you do your adjustments. And I've got a little brown on here, and I actually see this more as purple, but I can see the jawline is much heavier on this side than that side. So I'm going to have to extend that jawline just a little bit. And a brush stroke like that should help. And the beautiful thing about color is that it is different for every individual. How we perceive it, how we lay it down. These highlights I'm going to put in are a little off in color, but they will help. I should also say that I'm doing this entire painting with really just one brush. And what you'd like to do is clean all the colors. Otherwise your greens and your reds, your complementaries, when they get mixed together, they turn a little muddy. That's not good. But again, for the sake of this demo, I'm sacrificing a little color contamination, we'll call it. And I think I'll finish this up in just one or two more strokes. Things go well enough. Okay, I think that will be our demonstration, and we'll give you a little different angle here, straight on, and try to put that on autofocus. One correction I just have to make. I'll see if I can mix that color up real quickly. Okay, I think that's it for now. This is where I could go on forever. I could refine the drawing, the shape. And the color adjustments, but we'll call that good.